First time foray on living card games. This year I've been collecting TCG and LCG, but I prefer living card games more since you don't have to look for the booster packs for this. They are a complete game and you can just add expansions. So I focus on the three games: the Arkham Horror, the Lord of the Rings, the card game, and Marvel Champions. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you the basics. So I'm playing a solo game, but using four players. So I think I've made some mistakes here. If you're gonna comment in what phase of the game or part of the cards that I've been making mistakes, so I can improve next time. So this is a test as well for you guys. So there are different types of cards in the revised core set: hero cards, player cards, quest cards, and counter cards. Boon and burden cards, which are rewards, and then campaign cards if you want a longer adventure, as well as tokens. And they have four types of decks that you can customize based on the icons there: leadership deck, tactics deck, spirit deck, and lore deck. And I'll play the first scenario. You can see it there. It's 1A. And then you can see the encounter set icons. So these are the icons of the cards that you're gonna use. It's the spider, goblins, and the tree icon. So game setup, just shuffle all the decks, set the threats, create token banks, draw starting hands, which is six per players, and choose the first player since most of the effects and rewards will go to him. And then place the quest cards. And the anatomy of the cards is very overwhelming. But once you play at least once or twice, you will get the hang of it. It's pretty easy. But you still sometimes gonna make mistakes, just like in this game. Since I have four players to control all by
So these are the
myself.
seven phases for the game: resource phase, planning phase, quest phase, travel phase, encounter phase, combat phase, and refresh phase. And then we'll just go back to the first phase again.
So for player one, I just customize my deck. It's the group from Fellowship the Ring, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. For player two, it's Beravor, Glorfindel, and Dunhere. For player four, it's Eleanor, Denethor, and Eowyn. For player three, we have Theodred, Gloin, and Thalin. So for campaign mode, just put Mendor into play. Once he leaves the play or he's dead, the players lose the game. So Mendor has a range, which means he can attack any enemies if it is engaged from another player. Like example, player four can still attack if he's with player one. So read the 1A first. Search for the encounter deck for one copy of the Forest Spider and one copy of Old Forest deck. Add them to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter deck. I've done this beforehand. So these are the two you need. Should be in the staging area, which is the left side. And then you read 1B. So I need 8 quest progress. So for the threats, you add the top left, the color blue numbers. So 12 plus 9 plus 11 is 32. So I use the app quest face so I can monitor all 4 players in one app. No need for threat dials. So for player 2, player 3, it's 899, which is 26, and 789, which is 24. These total threats is important for engaging enemies during the encounter phase. So draw 6 cards each. So first phase, just add resource, 1 mana each for each heroes. Then planning phase. So this one is very useful. And you can see it's only for tactics deck, which is for Gimli and Legolas. So it gives 2 attack if it's a dwarf. Obviously, I will attach it to Gimli. Otherwise, if I put it to Legolas, he will only get 1 attack additional. So this one is a leadership type of card. And it costs 1. And sneak attack is one of the most powerful card since you can put one ally card into play from your hand without paying, but you have to return it to your hand afterwards. So I'm gonna use Aragorn's mana, and I'll exhaust it so I can use Gandalf. And also, once he enters play, he's got 3 valuable effects, which is draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage, or reduce threat by 5. So I'm gonna use the 4 damage so I can kill that first spider, which has 4 life points. So you can kill that easily. Discard that card immediately. Player 2. Most of them are spirit cards, but I have two lore type, which is the booklet, the green booklet. So I'll just skip for now. For player 3, this one faint is a good one. Can stop the enemy from attacking. So I'll use Talon. And I'll use a test of will for player 4, which can cancel effects of the card when revealed. Also, I'm gonna use Protector of Lorien since it can add willpower or defense. So Denethor can buy this one for AON. Next is Quest Phase. This is the most important part of the round. So you have to commit heroes for each players. So you have to decide either you are gonna make them quest or make them attack. Because once you do the quest, you're exhausted. So I'm gonna use Aragorn since he has a special effect that he can pay using a resource. So and Gandalf has very good willpower. So total 6 for player 1. So for player 2, Glorfindel has a very good 3 willpower, and Barabor has 2. And also, once you exhaust Barabor, you can draw 2 cards, and you can choose which player to get, either yourself or give it to other players. So I'm gonna draw it for player 2. For player 3, it's gonna be automatic for Theodred since once he commits to the quest, you get 1 resource. You can choose any hero. So I will always give it to Aragorn since he can use that mana resource for ready. He can be ready again. So for player 2, 5. And for player 3, I think Gloin will be for defense and attacking. And Thalin, you should let him do the quest since he's got 1 damage to each enemy once he's committed to the quest. Even though he has a low willpower, he's got a nice damage effect to all enemies on the encounter cards. So Eowyn also for committing the quest. And once you commit her to the quest, you can discard 1 card to increase your willpower once each round. So he's got 5. So I got a total of 21 for all willpowers. And now I draw cards for each players. So every encounter cards have threat levels on the left side, upper left side, which is like a crown icon for player three. So it's got a when revealed effect. So I can counter it with Eleanor. As you can see here, you can see because she's already exhausted, so you can cancel when revealed effect. Also, I have a test of will card. So I can discard this. I will use this for player three's encounter card. And for player four, Dol Goldor Orcs. Choose one character to deal 2 damage. So Gimli, once he gets damage, he gets +1 attack. So if you have 2 damage, you get 4 attacks. So all the cards in the staging area, you total all the threat. So it's 7, and you deduct it from the total willpowers, and that will be your quest progress, which is 14. So get only 8. So it's more than enough. But the extra won't go over to the next quest card, but it can go over for location quests. So I'm going to 2B, you need only 2. And I'm gonna use Aragorn's resource so he can ready for combat phase. And next would be travel phase. You can I'll choose Old Forest Road. So the purpose of travel phase, so you can remove the threat from the staging area for the next round. And you have to read as well the description. After you travel to Old Forest Road, the first player may choose and ready one character they control. So I'll put it under the quest card to know that it's active. And I will choose Gandalf since he's got very good stats. So encounter phase. So this threat number on the upper left for hammer horns is higher than all the players. So during encounter phase, you can choose not to engage this enemy since he's got a forced effect, which is dealing 5 damage to a single hero you control, which will kill most of the heroes you have. So that's why I choose not to engage this enemy, but he will add the threat level in the next round since he's still in the staging area. Also, don't forget that Talon will have 1 damage each enemy. So there's 4 enemies. So optionally, you can choose any enemies you have in the staging area, and depends on your heroes that are ready to fight. So player one can choose the one with the highest attack and the highest life points to deal with. So, but if you want the engagement check, which is the another type of engaging enemies, so you're gonna be based on the threat levels of the enemies to the hero's threat levels. So like this bat is 15, so we can go to the next highest, which is player 2, and the lowest will go to the next lowest level of threat, which is player 3. So once you engage the enemy, each card will have shadow effects, which is drawing another card for additional damage or mishap for your hero. So you have to choose heroes to defend because some shadow cards have nasty damage to your heroes if you don't defend. Some of them have like that script. So I'm gonna choose Gandalf, and for player two, I just leave it as it is. For player three, I'm gonna use Paint. So combat action, choose an enemy, engage. So I can block the attack. So shadow card for player one, player two, and player three. So it's location, so no shadow effect. Layer 2, same location. no effect, mm, and same location. So it's very lucky for all the players. I'll show you what shadow effects like. So this one, you will so see it at the bottom of enemy cards or treachery cards. So Gandalf 4 defense versus 3 attack, so it's negated. Same with player 2, player 3, no effect. And next would be the player's turn to attack. So enemies attack first in Lord of the Rings. So this will kill the bat since zero defense. So Dol Guldur Orcs has zero defense as well. So I can use Mendor, or I think Loin can kill it. He's got 2 attack. So I'm gonna declare 4 of them, 4 of them to attack the chief. So enough to kill the chief. And once Legolas joins in the attack that destroys the enemy, you get 2 progress quests on the current quest, which is the active location, is the Old Forest Road. Also, Glorfindel can pay 1 resource to heal any player. So I'm gonna use it. Gandalf will return and then refresh face. Ready, everyone? So reset to 0, and then threat level will increase 1 for after each round for all players. So again, resource phase. So they accumulate if you don't use your resource on the previous round. So you can use higher cards in the later rounds. And then draw one card each players. So all the cards that I draw are very good, except for this one. Since I don't have any condition attached, so it's useless for now. So go back to self planning phase. So I'm gonna use Blade of Gondor for Legolas. For player two, so the favor of the lady. I'll pay two resource and give it to Glorfindel since she got the highest willpower and gonna be used for quest later on. She's got +1 willpower. So for player three, I'm gonna use 5 resource since Gandalf is powerful. So I can choose the 4 damage once he enters the game. So I can use it to the hammer horns, which will kill. So it prevents me from engaging the hammer horns. I can use this Radagast clothing since it's the cheapest. And you can cancel its threat during the quest phase. Again, I'm gonna use Aragorn since he can get ready after completing the quest by paying 1 resource. Glorfindel and Beravor. So Theodred, I'll give it to Aragorn since Aragorn needs it for getting ready. Eleanor and Denethor as well, since they have cancel when revealed effect, and Denethor can check the top of the encounter deck. And I will give the Verabors drawing cards to player 4, since Eowyn and Lorien needs card to be discarded in order to get +1 willpower each. So you have to be good in selecting cards to be discarded because you might need them later on. So let's total again. So we'll draw one card each. So Ungoliant Spawn, Swarm. So for player 2, location. Player 3, location again. But they have different threats. And player 4, there's a treachery, which is deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. So this is a nasty effect. But luckily we have Eleanor. So we total the threats 7. So 7 minus 15, 15 minus 7, it's 8. So we got 1 for the active location, and you can use the extra to the quest card, but you cannot use it to the 3A. So you can choose randomly which one. So it's a fork in the road. Yeah, just shuffle which one. Eeny, meeny, miny, moo. So I got the Bjorn's Path, which says if you cannot defeat the Ungoliant spawn while it's in the stage, even if you have 10 quests, you have to go another round and you have to defeat him. And then you have to defeat again the quest after Ungoliant spawn is dead. So luckily I got Ungoliant Swarm. So travel phase, I will choose which one is the one with the good effect. This one, first gate, you get to draw two cards. So I'll just ready Aragorn using his resource. So I'll engage Ongolian Swarm for player one. So I'll have reveal the shadow effect. Luckily, it's still treachery, so it's useless. So I'm gonna use Aragorn to defend. So he's got zero damage, and use three Mendor, Legolas, and Gimli. So refresh, and Legolas killed Ongolian Swarm. So he's got two progress. Resource phase again. Another thing about defending. So if your player doesn't defend, once the enemy attacks, the defense stat is ignored for the hero that he will receive the attack. So it's very important to defend because, especially if you have a shadow effect and you don't have a defender. So usually, if you have ally, you can sacrifice them as defenders. Like example of this, Son of Arnor can sacrifice. So for player three, Rain of Arrows. So that's all good for Mendor because it has range. I got the same card again for player two. And then for player four, First Snare. So planning phase, Horn of Gondor, which I think gives you resource every time your allies died. So fire snare attached to an enemy engaged with the player and they cannot attack. So I'm gonna use this. Skip for player three. For player four, I will skip also. So quest phase, as usual, Aragorn can also choose Mendor. You can put them all committed to the quest, but to ensure you're gonna finish the quest, but what if you get the Ungoliant spawn? So it's the gamble. So for a win, I will discard a card to increase willpower, and another one for Protector of Lorien. So she will have two willpowers. I will exhaust the two because they have nice effects and the obvious two heroes, Stalin and Theodred. So total will be three, six. Player three is two willpowers. Player four will have six, seven, eight. So 20. So I'll draw these two cards from Beravor. Yes, Glorfindel's healing power. So Denethor, I can look up the top, which is the Ungoliant spawn. Luckily, I can put it at the bottom. So it's just good timing that I use Denethor's effect. So encounter when revealed can be cancelled by Eleanor. Nice save. So player two, location again. Great Forest Web. Mountains of Mirkwood. Fourth player will get King Spider. And And it has when revealed, each player must choose and exhaust one character they control. So for player one, I have to choose Aragorn, and player four has all and two and has all characters exhausted as well as player three. So only first player is the one who can fight. So during engagement, they are the only one who can fight. So total threat is 8. So we get 12. So the 2 will be used for the first gate, which will finish this location because it needs 4. And the extra 10, you can use it to the quest card, which will finish the game. So rewards, you can read at the back of the campaign card, which gives you each player earns one copy of the Mendor support boon. So this support boon is very effective, very strong, since Mendor will get +2 to all stats for the next scenario, but only one copy can be played. So if four of you got the same card, so you have to wait for your turn. So these are the boon cards included in the revised score set and the Dark Mirkwood set I got. So the Dark Mirkwood, you can add it to the next scenario. So this is the Oath. So there's two scenarios for this expansion: the Oath and the Dark of Nibindum. And then you continue with the revised score set scenario, which is Journey Along the Anduin. And then the last would be the Necromancer's Tower. And after that, I can play the trilogy scenario, the Fellowship, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King. So if you want to see more of my gameplay for the Lord of the Rings, just comment. So I made many mistakes in this first game since there's too many players I have to control and some scripts and text missed. So see you next time. Give a comment if you want to have more gameplay. See you in the next episode. Bye.